Well, hello there, everybody. Doug Patterson here out in the old garage in the zone. For those of you that don't know what the garage in the zone is all about, let me tell you. I come out here in the garage to do a lot of work on my guitars. I build guitars, and from time to time here on this little vlog, if you will, I try to keep people updated as to the progress of my guitars. Also, when I come out here, this is a place that I find very satisfying. I'm very happy and content out here because out here is where I do all my best thinking. And from time to time, I think, this is the preacher in me, by the way, sometimes I think that those thoughts have some practical life applications, and I like to share them with you. So for those of you that have been with me here on Facebook, here in the Garage in the Zone for a few years now, I really appreciate it, and I'm so glad that you're back. Listen, just let me get a couple things out of the way here before I get into what I want to talk about today. And it's this. At the end of this video, if you like this, please hit the like button, hear the share button, share it with your friends. And also I want to tell you, I started a new channel on YouTube called, you guessed it, Doug Patterson's Garage in the Zone. And these videos will be posted there as well. You might want to check that out. Okay, let's talk about fear and respect today. Now, in that opening little segment, I had a little fun with that, not talking about anything because I had the Darth Vader mask on there. And hopefully you caught the idea that it was hunting down coronavirus germs and trying to eliminate them. Well, aren't we all as a nation today? Well, I fear this virus. I do. Because I know and I have seen what it can do to people's lives, and all of us should be united in our efforts to try to obliterate this scourge from our lives. What that means is stay at home if you can, isolate yourself if you can, wash your hands frequently. Just do the right thing, okay? Because I believe that together we can conquer this bad thing. All right, so that's fear. I am afraid, if you will, of that virus, and I respect it. These are two things that I take with me into the Garage in the Zone every time I come out here to work on something. There are things that I'm afraid of when I'm running my machinery and so forth. I'm afraid of maybe cutting off a finger. It happens. I know people who have cut their fingers off, who have slashed tendons and so forth, and come away scarred and mutilated for life. I'm afraid of that. I don't want to do that. So there are a lot of things out here that I respect. I respect my table saw. Some say that that's the most dangerous tool in the garage or in the shop, and I believe that. I've had a few close calls with the old table saw, so there are lots of safety factors that I employ when I'm using that table saw. And everything that I use out here, my drill press, my routing table, on and on, my jigsaws, my band saws, you name it, everything out here I respect, and I do the very best I can to protect myself, because it's not just me that's involved here, you see. If I cut off a finger, I don't only affect myself, I affect everybody else in my family. There are things I won't be able to do, and I'm going to have to call upon them to help me to do it. I don't want to do that. I'm not out here isolated by myself. I'm always aware that there are other people in my life that I care about too. So what are the things that I use out here? Well, you saw some of them in that opening little segment there. If I'm running like my planer or something that's really, really loud, I wear these. Ear protection, because I like to hear. Always, if I'm running any kind of machinery at all or doing anything at all that might throw something up, safety glasses. I like to see. I like to know what's going on. And you never know when something's going to jump up and bam, hit you. And it's happened to me. I've had things hit these safety glasses, and I think to myself, if it wasn't for these, I'd probably be blind. This is an extreme measure, if you will, my respirator. Most of the time, if it's just like for sawdust and so forth, I might use one of those white paper mask things. But if I'm like spraying something and putting a finish on a guitar, using something that if I breathed it in would be toxic, I wear this ventilator. Let's see what else. Some things like, again, if I'm using toxic materials like some solvents and so forth are, I use gloves. And there's a lot of gloves being used in our nation today, aren't there? And let me see, what else do I have going on here? Well, you know, of all the injuries that I've had and sustained out here in the garage, you know, the one thing that has hurt me more than anything else, these chisels. And you know why? Because they're not as sharp as they should be. Now, I have tried. I have all kinds of sharpening devices. I've tried all kinds of things to sharpen these things because I know that a dangerous chisel is a dull chisel. And why is that? Because if I'm holding a piece of material down and trying to use this chisel, if it's dull, I have to press even harder to get it to do. And if it slips, which it often does, boom, right into my thumb. Boom, right into my finger. And I can't tell you how many times I've had cuts and scratches and so forth because of these. So I respect them. And I'm going to try, keep on trying to learn how to pardon the pun, sharpen my skills in sharpening these instruments. So I'm afraid, I have a healthy fear of the things that can happen to me. And so I respect my tools, I respect all of these things, and I try my best to ensure my safety. Isn't this what we're talking about with this coronavirus? To have a fear of it, to know what it can do, and at the same time to respect it enough to do everything in our power to obliterate it. Now, one more thing before I take off here, and that's this. My favorite songwriter of all time, and I'm influenced by tons of them, but my overall favorite, John Prine. Now, I bring this up because John Prine has been diagnosed with COVID-19. And Saturday night, he was in critical condition on a ventilator. Now, the last I heard is that his condition has stabilized. He's had 2 bouts with cancer. He's had numerous health problems. And I hope and pray that this isn't the one thing that takes him down. I pray for John Prine. I hope that you will too. And not John Prine exclusively, all people everywhere who are affected and who are grieving, mourning, suffering today because of this virus. You keep that in mind. Okie dokie, I think that's going to be it out in the old garage in the zone today. And I hope to see you again. You be sure and come back. Goodbye.